This is standard procedure fastening. One on one side and two on the other side. Hey, lest I forget it, let me go ahead and say I surely appreciate the many of you that let me know where you hail from in I forget which video it was, sometime last week. But many of you told me where you're from. That's fun to read that, communicate with you, find out what kind of weather you're having. And man, some of you guys, where you're from, I know you have had a winter to remember. And I mean, I'm not gonna kid you, here in the South, it's been a cold winter too. We've had several days of it. I got 2 days of working weather according to the forecast, today and tomorrow. My goal is, I don't know that it's gonna happen, but my goal is, I'm gonna try to get all the rafters cut, ready to go up, and hopefully, if all goes well, get all the rafters up and get some of the purlins on, or get all the purlins on. I don't know. I got a few braces on, got a few more braces to put on. I want to show you something while I'm out here before we go in the shop. Those of you who've watched the channel or been following along on this shed build, you know that I built something a bit unusual. It's not unusual in the construction industry, but a bit unusual for a sawmill shed, and that is a truss to go over this 20-foot span. And if you watch the video of constructing this thing, I put a 3/4 inch camber in it. You see that? Because I'm curious if that camber is going to come out when I put the weight on. Might do it, but then again, it might not. What are you looking at? Well, enough yapping, I got to get to work. I'm pretty sure I went over cutting rafters as thoroughly as I know how, and hopefully I didn't miss anything. Normally on a residential construction where you got dimensional lumber, kiln dried lumber, everything's, you know, pretty much spot on, 1.5 inches thick. If you're using 2x6s, 5.5 inches tall. Normally you'd lay out, you know, as many as you can get on your sawbucks. You'd mark them all, move your pattern, cut all one end and cut all the other end. So, you know, sort of mass producing them. These things are so heavy, and I'm a little bit limited in room, so I'm gonna mark all these, but I'm probably still just gonna cut them one at a time. But then I'm also gonna show you what I do, especially on a shed build or a barn build, because in my opinion, could be wrong, have been before, you want to do as much as you can on the ground. I don't care what age you are, but especially when you get a little longer in the tooth, do as much as you can on the ground, so when you get up off the ground, you can limit your time up there. Okay, so there's 2 things that I will do on this rafter that I can do on the ground before I set it up, and I'll have it ready to go. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and lay it off where the purlins are gonna sit. Now my purlin layoff, I'm gonna use a 1x6 down here at the bottom. So I put a mark at 4 inches. The wood's gonna stick over, the purlin is gonna stick over 2 inches, and then the tin will stick over another inch. So there'll be 3-inch overhang outside the end. But I don't like, and you know, this is personal preference, but for me personally, I don't like my tin to stick out. Well, a lot of times I'll stick my tin out 2 inches past the wood, but no more than that. I've seen people do, you know, 6 inches of tin sticking out past that. Let me tell you something. I fell off the end of a roof one time because I stepped on the end of the tin. Didn't realize that whoever had built the building, they ran the tin out past the wood, I don't know, about that far. And I stepped on that and went straight down. That's one thing. Another thing is, inevitably, when you see somebody that's got their tin stuck out that far past the wood, that tin's going to be drooping down, looking like somebody got hit in the mouth and bad lip. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's my personal opinion. You take it for what it's worth. And I'm going to use a 1/6 for my last purling. May use 1/6s all the way down. So 4 inches of the 1/6 will be on the rafter. 2 inches will be sticking over. There again, you don't want too much wood sticking over the end of your rafter if you're doing purlins, because as it dries or cracks or whatever, it's liable to droop a little bit. And if you've got more wood on the rafter than what's off the rafter, probably going to be in excellent shape. And we'll talk more about screwing tin on and the importance of the perimeter of the tin when we get to it. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I went out and took a count, and because I've added some in different places, I'm gonna need 16. So I need 3 more after this batch is cut. So that's the way I'll do all the rest of them, and then we'll see where we're at, and may be able to get some of these up today. That's the plan anyway. Well guys, this is the one we was looking for. It's the last one. I think I'm going to put a couple more braces on here before I start setting rafters. I had some 6x6s, and I just made the executive decision to bust those in half. And on the front here, I'm using 3x6s. Just to save a little material. What I'm using on the front side, I believe these are, yeah, hex lock. These are 6-inch. And as far as I know, I'm pretty sure that they are approved fasteners if you was doing it in a home where it has to be inspected or something. You know what? Get these bolts in here. I'm gonna go get a RC coal and a moon pie. Take a little break. We're ready for some rafting. That last one I put up was green. It's time with me if if you'll just hang on a minute, I'm gonna load up some more and bring them out here. 4 more gets me down to that post. That's an old green one. I expect it's 3 times heavier. I'd just like to know how much water comes out of one of those things. And another green one. Can I give you a pro tip? You see these people, these YouTubers, you know, carpenters, they're wearing these big old huge belts, one on each side and everything. That's fine for some people. But let me give you a little pro tip. Wear as light an apron, tool apron, as you can find, okay? I mean, as light an apron as adequate to carry the tools that you have to have at that moment. If you don't need those tools, don't carry them. I watched this video the other day. This guy he had a little mock-up thing, you know, in a garage or something, showing how to cut some boards. And all he's gonna be using, he was using a speed square and a pencil. And he has on this big old apron. Let me tell you something, don't do it. Don't do it. Wear as light an apron and carry as few tools and fasteners as you absolutely have. Just a little pro tip there. While I got you here, let me show you something. I know probably everybody knows this. Y'all know this. You might not though. I didn't know it. Somebody had to teach me and I had to learn it. This is standard procedure fastening. One on one side and two on the other side. Okay? That's pretty standard. In fact, I think that's what the building code recommend. Well, we got a little ways to go over here. But don't that look pretty? And that white poplar sure is pretty. And that right there is pretty straight. Hey, quit yapping and get to work, what I say. See, lines don't lie. And you see that right there? That camber's still in this front beam. And then on the ends, what I did, I put a little 5/16 block right there so that the line would have that same margin all the way down. You see that? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. But I don't think I've mentioned that if you're building anything similar to what I'm doing here, a shed, it's going to help you if you got bird's mouths and stuff. It's going to help you to make sure your beam is straight with a string, okay? And this one here, I never did put a string on it, but I'm thinking everything looks pretty doggone good. Can you see down that? Looks pretty good to my eye anyway. So there's what it looks like with the rafters on it. Now I just need to get some purlins on it. Well, I think the kid's gonna call it a day. Oh, I put a couple of braces here in the middle. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put my braces exactly. I think that's probably gonna stay okay. The main thing is, I surely don't want them getting in the way of the saw head when it's raised all the way up. So I gotta be considerate of that, you know what I'm saying. But probably gonna put a brace here on the end, one here, and a brace down the other end, one there and one there. And I feel like this thing will be braced up and good to go. Hey, I'll see you in the next one.